welcome to today's webinar on ISTQB Foundation. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. My name is Ankita and I'll be your moderator for today's session. I represent SpringPeople, India's leading enterprise training provider, and we are delighted to have you all with us. Now, before we begin, let me briefly introduce SpringPeople. SpringPeople offers over 3,000 instructor-led courses, delivered more than 4,500 industry experts, covering areas like AI and machine learning, cloud computing, data science and analytics, DevOps, software testing, and more. SpringPeople is trusted by over 1,000 enterprises, including Fortune 500 companies and partners with leading global technology organizations to deliver certified, industry aligned training. Now, coming to today's topic, software testing is a critical part of delivering high quality, reliable applications, and the ISTQB Foundation is one of the most globally recognized starting points for building a strong career in software testing and quality assurance. In today's session, we'll introduce you to the ISTQB certification structure, core testing principles, and essential concepts that form the backbone of effective testing practices. This session will also help you understand how ISTQB certification strengthens your testing knowledge, improves professional credibility, and opens new career opportunities in QA and software testing. To guide us through this session, we are happy to welcome our speaker for today, Mr. Abhinay Dixit. Mr. Abhinay is a senior automation test manager with over 20 years of experience in software testing, quality assurance, and test automation across multiple domains. He has extensive expertise in designing and implementing end-to-end automation strategies aligned with business goals and industry best practices. He brings strong hands-on experience with modern automation tools such as Playwright and Cypress enterprise automation frameworks like Selenium with Java, behavior-driven development using Cucumber, performing testing with Apache JMeter, and emerging areas including AI-driven testing and self-healing automation. Mr. Abhinay is also deeply passionate about training, mentoring, and upskilling professionals. We are so glad to have him with us today. Now, before we begin, just a couple of quick housekeeping notes. All participants will be on mute during the session to avoid background noise. During the Q&A session, you are welcome to raise your hand and we'll unmute you so you can ask your questions directly. You can also post your questions anytime in the chat box and Mr. Abhinay will address them towards the end of the session in the Q&A round. With that, let's get started. Over to you, Mr. Abhinay.
Thank you. Thank you, and good evening, good morning, people joining from all location. Yes, as you all know that we all are here for the ISTQB. I'll give you the quick and brief introduction around ISTQB, keeping short and sweet within the time limit. So what I have done is I have arranged my agenda in such a way that where you guys get a good idea around what is this ISTQB. First of all, what is ISTQB is all about. I'm sure many people come from the different background, different industry, right? And especially when I talk about in QA and testing field, right? Uh, there are many people who would be having a good amount of exposure, something like me, right? Who would be working since long time, right? And you will be wondering that how come this ISTQB is going to help me, right? I'll no, answer those questions as well, guys. And that is where it is important to understand what is ISTQB, what all they provide, how this add value to your professional, your personal, your organization level, right, and many more. So let's start with. I've kept the agenda on a 6 to 7 level. One is I wanted to kind of introduce to all of you about ISTQB, which stands for International Software Testing Qualification Board. So this is one of the, you can see like advisory board, right, which is formed by a group of people, right, uh, which basically a base location is Brussels, Belgium. It's called as a Belgium. And then we have all other country associated with them, partnered with them, right? And that is how the whole certification process flow. We'll talk about that also in details. Then what ISTQB does that, right? How recognized it is worldwide, what is the trend in the market right now. We'll talk about certification. They provide on a good amount of certification. We are here for ISTQB Foundation, which is your base, which is your on a important steps towards your higher journey, right? We'll also talk about the local body who conduct exam, the people who is joining from any part of the India, right? Will have a, we call it the Indian Testing Board, who is associated with the main board called ISTQB. But yes, exam will be conducted by the local board, right? We'll talk about that concept also. Who can appear for this exam or this course, right? We'll talk about that. What is the cost involved, right? Both exam cost as well as suppose I'm going to go through this training program, right? And what is the validity? So I'm touching base that. I'm also touching base about the foundation, what all the topic we have, right? Because there are many people who comes from the testing background. Most of the people are mostly aware about the entire concept that I'm going to talk about. Then the question is, then why ISTQB Foundation? How does it matter? And that is the main essence that I wanted to explain to all of you in this webinar. Okay, so as it has been mentioned, any question, guys, so feel free to put it in your question chat box, or else you can also raise your hand and we can address. But I would love to address, make a note of all these questions. I'll be addressing towards end, which will be much better because I'll give you 15 minutes of time to address all your questions around that. Okay, so this is the guys. If you go to ISTQB website, you guys will find it this information, right? It is the different level of certification ISTQB provide under the ISTQB umbrella. If you look at the down, the first one, which we call as a foundation level, which is also called as a CTFL. We'll talk about that. Certified Foundation Level, right? Tested, we call this. That is your base. Without that, you cannot go and attempt or appear for any other exam or any other certification, which you can see it in this list. So your foundation level is a base. And even on the agile, you can see it nowadays, because of the market demand, ISTQB has come up with a lot of certification program, which include agile, which include AI, which include performance, which include automation, many more. And you can see here the guys glimpse that I'm talking about. But yeah, the foundation is your core, your base. And then it has been based on that, you can go and attempt, like anyone who wanted to get certified as a technical test analyst, right? So they will have to have a first foundation level certification, and post that only you can appear for that. Second, test analyst, you can also appear for that exam, but again the base remains same. Third is a test manager, and each categorization is based on the people who belongs to that group level, and that is how it is. But again, it's open for all. Anyone can go for any other exam, but yes, again, remember guys, based on that. Okay, and that is how this whole arrow mark or dotted line, if you see the right side, foundation is a code for all your specialized certification if you're looking left side. Okay, now let's talk about the core or base or the foundation that we call as a, people also call as a CTFL 4.0. Some people also call it ISTQB Foundation Level. So that is the first here technical term. Technical, you can say like the course name, it's called CTFL, guys. CTFL certification is the entry point for your all other ISTQB certification. If you remember, I mentioned this, and it is designed to provide a strong foundation in software testing, covering all the essential terminology, testing process, best practices, right? And I'll talk about that as well, right? On a very high level, so that you guys have a glimpse, understand that how the ISTQB has designed this entire topic, or they have grouped them properly so that people are able to adopt it, able to understand it, and then able to go and also implement in the real-time project. Plus, this also helps you to clear your certification. So we'll talk about that part as well. This is called CTFL 4.0 is the code for that certification when you're going to apply. So this is just for your knowledge, guys. Great. Now, when you come to the ISTQB Foundation, or we call it the CTFL 4.0 syllabus, right? It has a 6 chapter. Okay. And let me give you, these chapters are divided in such a category that it is going in a proper flow in terms of your basic to intermediate to advanced. And if you look at that, any software testing life cycle, if you see, right, these 6 chapters cover the entire software testing umbrella. So first part is fundamental of testing. That is where most of the people should, right? Because if you do not know why we do testing, what is the purpose of testing, intent of testing, limitation of testing, many aspects of that, right? Second chapter, which talks about the testing throughout the software development life. Now, if you look at the SDLC, right, or we have a different SDLC model, okay? Many people do understand that, right? We have something called, right? We have a different model to follow, something like call your agile, you have a V process model, you have a waterfall model, you have a spiral model, many, right? Where how does the testing fit into that? In each phase, how does the testing matter, right? What value testing brought, right? You all have done that, but this talks about more in a process, real time, and that is the glimpse that you will be getting it into that, right? See, third is if you look at the static testing. Yeah, sometimes I have seen that in many projects, people does that knowingly, unknowingly, right? But we never give a proper emphasis on the static test. So when you look at the testing approach, we have a two major approach, static, dynamic. In a very simple language, static is something which is called your without executing the code or without executing anything, even without navigating through the application. Dynamic, where you provide your inputs, performed, and then you look for the output. But there is a proper guidelines. There is a proper messaging which foundation level gives that, and that is how they are. See, in fact, it's a real-time example. I'll give you one simple example. If you look at in your real time, in your real life, suppose I go to some shop where I wanted to buy a t-shirt, right? So if you look at that, t-shirt is a product for me. Technically, logically, you all does the same job in real time as well, but we don't focus it and we don't implement in the real time when it comes to project. And that is where the ISTQB is trying to bring back this entire concept in a more organized manner and telling you this is the ideal way to do it. Example, I was giving you the t-shirt example. I'm going to buy a t-shirt. Have you ever seen anyone? Look at yourself in a real time example. When you go to buy a t-shirt, have you ever seen anyone take a t-shirt and directly go to the trial room and go and check that how the t-shirt fits? No. Answer is absolutely no. Not only for t-shirt example, any example. Suppose I'm going to buy a car, right? If you go to if you see anyone who go to the car showroom, what is the first thing you will notice? That people will go and check the car features, functionality, color, right? How it looks, sitting in comfort level and all, right? These are nothing but a call, guys. You're static, and this is actually in a very raw manner, right? When you meet someone first time, you can't get them around how is their nature, how is his or her nature. You can't. Look matter. The first thing which will impress you that someone how he or she looks. So what is the ISTQB is trying to convey the message? Yes, guys. Static testing is important. Do not ignore and do not put them into the static testing. Start right from the requirement to till the end of the when you are going to deliver the product. Static is something like review, review, review. Anything where you can bring a value, you can contribute, eliminate the defects, solve the problem, increase the customer experience, right? Static testing. Static simple meaning is, guys, is called you implement it, you are going to get a value out. For example, I'll give you one again live example. Suppose if you don't check that while buying a t-shirt properly, the size, the color, many other aspects, right? You just go take it randomly, wear it, it looks good on you, right? You take it that, right? And you come back and you saw the t-shirt one button is quite loose, or one side you have a cut mark, which you did not notice. That is all because of the flaws of your approach called static. So static is more around not only, guys, look and feel, it contribute a lot. And that is what ISTQB has very properly emphasizes that as a third topic. And then that your next is, guys, called which we call as a dynamic or test technique. I'm sure many people would have heard about the test techniques. We have a multiple technique. See, testing is not something which you can just go and randomly do. We apply the logic, we apply the technique, and we have a something called, guys, I'm sure many people would have heard about that, come across that, right? We have a something called equivalence partitioning, boundary value analysis, decision table, right? That's all I'm talking about in terms of the black box. But when you go to the white box, even for unit testing point of view, developer does a lot of other, they apply the lot of techniques like statement coverage, condition coverage, multiple condition coverage, right? Cyclometrics complexity, so many more. Why do we do that, guys? Because if you just use random, there are high chances that you are going to miss a lot of major functionality, major test cases, right? But techniques gives you the two clarity. One is, yes, with technique, you are going to find out a minimum number of test cases and maximum number of coverage. Simple example, boundary value analysis. What is that boundary value analysis? Wherever I have a range field, take example, someone asked you that, okay, in your application, you have to test it, that usernames should be between 4 to 10 characters. Now here, I should not go and test it every possibility. Like, okay, what if user enter the 4, user enter the less than 4, user enter the blank, user enter the 5, user enter the 8, user enter the 10, user enter, no, you should not. This is where the boundary value comes in a picture, because boundary value tells that you should, wherever there is a range field, you should check the boundary condition of the application. Something like called what? 4, 10, that's a boundary. Below 4 and above 10. That's for negative scenario. only 4 conditions. No need to test 6 and 7 conditions. That is called exhaustive testing, which is impractical, is not impossible, but impractical. Okay, and that is how the techniques matters. Techniques, any number of people, any mindset of people, right? Same result. That is the beauty of test techniques. Then the next is management. Test management is not about the way we all think. Okay, so if you look at here, guys, this is where under each topic, it has been again subtopics divided, which you can see in the green color. So all your blue colors is all your major topics, 6 chapter. Ideally, for anyone to get a proper knowledge around this, even though you come from the testing background, you have done 6 years of or 7 years of manual testing, still advisable to go for minimum 3 days of training pora. 3 days means 24 hours of, because you have to understand, adopt, analyze these 6 topics, right? And then the subtopics under each. Like example, if you look at the, I was talking about the test technique just now with all of you. So black box techniques, white box techniques, experience-based techniques, right? Or if you look at the static testing, static is not about just, it has a review, it has a walkthrough, it has a lot of other concept, right? So there is a difference between the walkthrough, review, right? Similar way, if you look at here, guys, right? Test management. Test management is not about typically that what we have all knowledge about. Okay, test management means something like manager is going to do. Okay, so nothing like that we are talking about here. Test management is very simple, guys. How you manage your entire work, right? See, your work is only as good as that if you manage properly. You track them. Right? That is what it talks about, the test planning and estimation. See, your everything's go well if you. That is what it talks about, test monitoring and control. Look at the progress report. Check that how people are doing it, how much we have completed, what is going wrong, where we need to jump in and do some fine tuning. That's what we call as a configuration management, risk and testing, defect management, right? The defect has been logged. Is the someone has addressed the defect? Is someone has changed the status of the defect? It has been gone through the retesting. It has been gone through the regression testing. This entire life cycle. So test management is a complete end-to-end process to make sure that your project is not going to get derailed. What we committed to customer, we are going to deliver to the customer. And then look at the tool support for testing. You all know that in testing umbrella, we have a 3 concept. Earlier, we had a 2 concept, 2 approach, manual testing or automation. Remember, automation always complement manual. It does not replace manual. And today, in current world, we have a 3rd approach of testing also, which is becoming kind of buzz in the market, which we call as a AI in automation. And that is why ISTQB has also introduced the topic and chapter on separate certification around the AI in testing. Because AI is again going to contribute a lot. Remember, AI is not going to replace you. AI is going to support you, complement you to do your job much faster, much cleaner, okay, and much easier. Like how automation is. So similar with the tool support for testing, which is going to talk about what are the kind of tools in the SDLC we can implement, right? Like for review purpose, we have a tool. Many people would have heard about Sonar Cube, right? For test management point of view, we have a tool like Jira. We have a GitHub source code management tool. For performance testing, we have a tool. For unit testing, we have a tool. For UI testing, we have a tool. So the test tool consideration, and this topic only talks about what tool, where we can use, how effectively we can use, and then the effective use of it. That's what it has been talked about. And this is, guys, overall your foundation level content, which is going to get covered under this each topics, right? And that required minimum 3 days because you have to understand, adopt, observe, analyze, and implement. Okay. Okay. So now I'm going to go to, guys, in case anyone has a question and wanted to, but in case you wanted to hold your question for the last 15 minutes, I would appreciate it. Make a note wherever you have a doubt. Now let me go for the next is, guys, called examination approach, right? Or certification, because the certification of ISTQB, the foundation level, add value, and it has a huge impact in the market. So we'll talk about, but let's talk about what is the prerequisite, exam types, number of questions, duration, schedule, location and venue, passing a score, or any other additional information which you all should know when you are going to appear for the ISTQB certification. So yes, first thing you guys remember that there are 14 multiple choice questions. It's a MCQ, no negative marking. So please go ahead and even though you're not confident, make sure that you attempt it because you're not going to get any negative point. Second, 1 point for each correct answer, right? 65% success criteria means 26 or more. So that is the first criteria for all of you to make sure that when you are doing it, I've seen many people and I have advised them, don't try to aim it to get it 35 or 40 right. You don't want distinction here, guys. You need, so make sure that what you are doing it first thing is, guys, make sure that you attempt for 26, 27 question where you are 100% confident that yes, nothing wrong. Definitely the 5 to 7 question will be a little tougher and all. There only you take a chance, but you make sure that first you secure your passing. Okay, duration will be 1 hour. An exam fee, this will might change, guys, but yeah, it is in INR 4,500 to 5,000 rupees, including GST and all. And it again varies depend upon the country to country. So I'll give you the website. You can go through that. You'll get all this information. Perfect. Okay. Second thing, what ISTQB has done that is they are not trying to teach you this topic in a such a way that okay, everything you have to buy here. That's what they have divided them into the 4 category of that. They call as a K1, knowledge 1, knowledge 2, knowledge 3, and knowledge 4. What is the knowledge 1? Because the question is going to come from this each section of the knowledge. K1 is something which you have to do, no other option, guys. You have to remember, you have to recognize, you have to recall. In a simple language, you have to buy heart that concept. Those number of questions are very less, but yes, something like certain data number, you need to remember that because that is exact developer. K2, which is called understand, explain, give reason, classify, categorize, give example, right? So it is, yeah, it's all thought process, understanding. K3, apply and use. Something like you will be getting a question a lot from the test dynamic, something like all your equivalence partitioning, boundary value, state transitioning, all these things, right? So you have to formula, apply and use. And the K4 is analyze, right? See, what is the meaning of analyzation? See, for any one question, there could be a 2 perception or 3 perception from someone. If my project is derailed, we are not going to meet the deadline. Many people will have a different perception. Someone will say that, okay, blame that, okay, fine, because developer did not give the code or build on the time. Someone will say that, okay, because of that, right? But what ISTQB says that, look at the problem in a realistic scenario in terms of ideal scenario that which is that, see, all 3 and 4 is a reason, but which is the best reason? And that is where your analysis comes. ISTQB looks for the best option. That is what one thing that I wanted to tell you. In ISTQ, you will find it, all the 4 options in the question will look like answer. You will think that, okay, this is also answer, that is also answer. But there is something called ideal scenario. I'll give you one simple example. We have something, guys, you have heard about called retesting and regression testing. So if I ask anyone, many people generally say retesting is whenever we have a bug fixing or any changes or anything, any build, we do the retesting. Regression testing, yes, we perform the all the test cases, no. So it's a wrong. See, retesting is a very clear message. Retesting means whenever you have a defect, you have found it, you have logged it, defect got fixed. First, your job is to retest, to verify that that problem, what I have logged it, it's working or not. And now to make sure that that problem does not impact the other working functionality, I need to do the execution of more than one test case. It could be 100, it could be 200, it could be 300, or it could be entire suite. That comes under the regression category. So both is trying to do the repetition of the job, right? Which we have already done, but there is a purpose is different. There is a thin line gap. And ISTQB basically ask you, right? See, some people are doing the static testing when the after the dynamic. Nothing wrong. But that is not the ideally you are supposed to do. See, I can take a bath after my breakfast. But ideally, if you look at the life cycle of any human being, it has been always conveyed that you get a brush, fresh up, bathroom, washroom, like take a bath and all, and then go for it. That is how the ideal scenario. I used to believe in that. That is what they are trying to tell you. Even though people from 8 years, 10 years, 20 years experience, you should go and go through this training and you should go and attempt this exam because that will make you more focused towards that how you should implement such things in the real time. And that is why nowadays a lot of companies who is hiding it, a lot of customer is looking for resource who is ISTQB certified. Because what they brought on the table, they brought the real time exam. They brought the how to implement in that situation. That is what you generally see. It generally miss in the most of the people who does not have that. It doesn't mean that people who are not certified with ISTQB does not qualify for the testing. It's nothing hard and fast rule. But yeah, it brings value. Some same like for to do the coding, you don't require to clear the definitely BTech or BE or computer science. Right? Many people whom I know or even you guys know who are equally qualified. But BTech and all those gives you the certain sense that okay, in this situation, how you go and adopt. And that is what this your your qualification matter, guys. I told you, right? Certification add value there, right? Many people think that, okay, I have done the BE electronics. How does it implement in the? Yes, the core concept does implement, guys. It has a value. Whatever you have learned, you have spent your 4 years, it does add a value. Okay. Look at the number of questions from the each K level. So you remember I told you K1 20, K2 12, K3 and K4 altogether 8, and that right is total going to be your 40. Chapter wise also I have given that. Chapter 1 will 7, chapter 2 6, chapter 3 is called static testing, very small, 3 question only. Chapter 4 has a lot of contribution, guys, dynamic, and you can crack it because it is all applying, very easy to do. So chapter 1, 2 and 7, right, can almost win the race for you. Okay, guys. Otherwise, but yeah, don't ignore any chapter. Even chapter 3 is easy to crack. Even though there is a 3 question, but don't ignore any of the chapter. That's what ISTQB says. The purpose of doing this is not to tell to people to ignore any topic or chapter. Okay, just quick information, guys. Anyone who wanted to. So there are post training. There are Rex Black book that will be from our side. It will be given in case you are going through the training with us, which is a kind of takeaway from our side. Apart from training, guiding for the certification, lot of mock test and all those things. This is another thing. But there are a lot of books available in market, but you cannot go and keep reading it, right? Your concept should be clear. And Rex Black soft copy, that book that we all have, that can help you to crack it easily. Okay, how it, this value of certification, I told you, right? Remember, anything that you have done, that it first help you to individual level. That is what is said to the tester. It add to your profile. It cannot go to the company. It will be with you for lifelong. So your demand will increase in the market moment you go and put that into the your profile. Today, a lot of companies are hiring for the resource who is certified. Even though you are 10 years, but you are not certified, the chances are less. To be organization, yes, organization, it gives a confidence to organization that we have some certified people, they will do the work, they'll do the great amount of work. And to the profession, obviously it helps you to go to the next ladder, right? In case you wanted to do some other certification. Okay, so we have a good to know about ISTQB, but I do not want to spend too much of time around this. I'll just hold it for time being. I'll ask Kaushik to go ahead and fine, guys. We'll discuss about that also later. And yes, let's move that further. I think this information I do not want to no, kind of go too depth, but you guys are good to know that because you are going to work on something. You're going to get certified for certain. So you should know what kind of bodies it is, when it was formed, who. And it's a, by the way, guys, November 2002 is a non-profit organization. Headquartered is Belgium. We have a 130 plus member board. Countries are associated with them, including India. Provide the world most recognized software testing certificates, right? And these are the leadership team from the ISTQB side. Rex Black, who has written the book, who is also the president, who started this whole movement. Okay, and this is the global reach and statistics latest figure, guys. We have a quite good number. I'm just giving you as a certification available in multiple language, 50 plus. For us, we have only, guys, English, but for other countries, we have in a different language as well. Because the purpose is maximum reach. Okay, as I said, people who belongs to, right, who is not out of India, right? Anyone who is part of that, your board is called Indian Testing Board. And this is the website also I have given that. So you have to go to istqb.in. istqb.org will take you to the main. istqb.in will take you to the our local body called Indian Testing Board, which is again branded as a ISTQB India and responsible for certification exam, certificate, and implementation of ISTQB in India for any, right? So this is all done by these guys, right? But it is worldwide recognized. It doesn't mean that only you are recognized in India. Okay, and just to summarize, there is a one picture that if you guys go through that, it gives you some message that what ISTQB try to bring and how the ISTQB. See, this is one of the problem statement that I have highlighted in terms of is in a typical any software development life cycle, right? And if I just give you the one gist, guys, see how the customer explained it to us, how the business consultant described it to the team, how the project was documented, and look at that, how what is the customer really needed. Because sometimes what happens is because of the lot of gaps, see this trying to depict a lot of things. It's trying to depict that you're okay, you did not follow the documentation, you did not follow the static, dynamic, test management process, no one tracked it, right? Many gaps were there. And at end, because customer was almost like lost the hope, they said, okay, fine. Finally, the last picture, if you see, give me something like this. At least I can swim. What is the expectation and what finally they're getting it right? To organize this, to make sure that we do not come across, right? We meet customer expectation is what trying to convey the message that, okay, ISTV bring this, all this is not that is trying to solve your problem, but it is trying to make you more organized so that when you implement, you are bringing the value, what is committed, you are trying to deliver that. Okay, fine guys, apart from ISTQB, as they have highlighted about me, I just wanted to highlight these are the area where we also train people. So if anyone is interested around any other tools and technology apart from ISTQB, you can reach out to Spring People. We do train people around multiple tools and technology, whether it is Playwright, Selenium, Cypress, okay, whether it is API automation, mobile, right? DevOps, BDD, TDD, minimum performance using JMeter and many other, right? So this is all I'm talking about under the testing umbrella. Fine. You guys have all the information available.
Thanks a lot, Abhinay, for that insightful and highly informative session. And thank you everyone who stayed with us throughout. Now, if this session has encouraged you to explore more and strengthen your skills in software testing and quality assurance, I invite you to look at our virtual instructor-led training program at springpeople.com. These are live sessions conducted by certified trainers and can be attended from the comfort of your home, providing you with practical hands-on learning and industry-relevant knowledge. If the available schedules don't suit you, we also offer flexible learning options and private group training. For more details, you can reach out to us at training@springpeople.com. Now we are also sharing a link to all of you to join our Spring People WhatsApp channel in the chat. I would like to request all of you to join the channel so you can stay updated on upcoming free webinars, learning resources, certification guidance, career insights, and exclusive training opportunities. It is a great way to stay connected and continue your learning journey. Please do take a moment to join the channel once the link is shared. Okay, now let's now move on to our Q&A session. Over to you again, Mr. Abhinay.
Yes. Thank you. So guys, I'm all up for any question that you guys have who wanted to go ahead, and I'll be happy to answer all of you.
You can raise your hands and you can put down your questions in the chat box as well. Our expert will answer them.
Okay, so I think these all are allowed to no, unmute and ask, or how it is? Are they only allowed to go and put it in the chat? I hope guys you all have a clarity. Thanks, Manjunath. Others, anyone else who wanted to know about anything around ISTQB or any other stuff, feel free to no, raise your hand, or you can also put your question in the question. Yes, Manjunath, go ahead.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, thanks for confirming. And what will be the course duration and what will be the cost of the course that you are providing on the ISTQB uh, foundation level? Can we have some more details about that?
Sure. So duration wise, I'll let you know as if you gone through that right whole webinar. I have explained that it is a 6 topics, total 6 chapter, right? And how we have divided that each chapter for each no, per day 2 chapter, right? So it is going to be total 3 days, 3 full days we are talking about. So 24 hours of the training plan. Cost wise, I think they can give you the information offline or online, might be right. Anyone, Kaushik and Ankita, who want to answer this question? Okay. So yes, Manjunath, about the duration, as I mentioned that, because in that we are also helping people to prepare for the certification and exam. Is not only that about, and that is the reason this is a kind of your 3 days, 3 full days training, 24 hours of content.
Uh, Thank you so much.
Yes. Take in case.
Thank you, Abhinay, for sharing your expertise, and thank you everyone who joined us today. We'll be sharing the session recording with you shortly via email. Now, before you leave, make sure to share your feedback. For those who have not yet shared their feedback, uh, it will really help us improve and deliver even better sessions in the future. That's it from us today. Have a great evening, and we hope to see you again in another Spring People session soon. Bye.